Do you know that straight men can have sex with men and not be gay?
So I just woo. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you are tuning in. My name is Jonathan Torres-Herrera, and you are watching or listening to the JTH show. Today, let's talk about a couple things. It'll be around sort of like a sensitive topic for some people, so you've been warned. It is around gender topics. We're first going to start with the latest story involving Potato Head, I believe it's called now, and the Marjorie Taylor Green and what she did outside her office. But first, roll the intro. All right, welcome to another episode of the JTH show. Like I said, in the intro, please be forewarned. I feel like I have to say that because some people are going to find it, what they call it now, triggering to hear some of the topics we're going to discuss today. I feel like I wanted to talk about them here with Josh because it just feels right. There's a lot of news coming out more and more, right, as the weeks, the months, and probably for the next foreseeable future. And you know what? It's something that people really shouldn't run away from. So let's start with the first story, Josh. Why don't you start with that one?
All right. So we got Mr. Potato Head brand goes gender neutral. Sort of. So Hasbro announced the change as it launched a Create Your Potato Head Family kit with 2 potato parents and a potato baby made for modern families, quote unquote. So I think we're all pretty familiar with Mr. Potato Head, Potato Head.
Watch it.
But yeah. Before we get cancelled. So I think before 20, it was known as Mr. Potato Head. Okay, I think we can all agree that was a fact. It was known as Mr. or Mrs. Potato Head. The one that we've all grown up with, the one that we've all loved for so long, and was actually made kind of famous in the Toy Story movies, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's dive in a little bit more to see what actually is happening. So Hasbro, created vision on Thursday when it removed the gender from its Mr. Potato Head brand, but not from the actual toy. So the company, which has been making Mr. potato-shaped plastic toys for nearly 70 years, announced Thursday morning that it is dropping Mr. from the brand in an effort to make all feel welcome in the potato head world. That set off a social media frenzy over the beloved toy. So apparently now, if you are of the male gender, you could trigger somebody.
You could.
Thoughts?
That's a message here that it feels like some of these major brands, right, as I've been harping on, and a lot of people that I've been watching or hearing for some time know that I've been saying this, right, that it's getting very confusing out there for many people that are trying to say and do the right thing. I know there are some people, right, that don't give a flying F, to say what they want to say, how they want to say it. And there are some people that maybe feel like, hey, I want to address things and people, but if I do and I use the wrong pronouns, I might lose my job, right? And in this case, companies like Hasbro, right, have said, sorry, we have to drop the Mr. and Mrs., which are technically identifiers for male and female, right? Arguably, because maybe some people will disagree, but fine, right? Traditionally, male and female. Now, to be fair, as it said in the article here, later that afternoon, Hasbro clarified in a tweet that the Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head characters will still exist, names and all, but the brand on the box will say Potato Head. Now, I thought about this while we were preparing. Of course, they're going to leave the Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Those are money grabs, right? Especially for movies like you said earlier, like Toy Story. They've been around for a long time, right? And many kids, and even, people like you and I and older, and according to this, 70 years, by the way, all in total, of total of generations have realized, what? With this article, what do you mean? Like, I've known Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, which goes what I was saying to those of you guys that saw the episode where I talk about the Aunt Jemima. Companies, instead of trying to change everything for a large group of people that have known something their entire existence, should add on. I'm okay with change. I want to make sure I'm very clear on that. Because there's always that person that only wants to hear the beginning minute of the show or make an assumption on one little sentence I make. I'm okay with companies progressing. I'm okay with evolution. Things need to change. I know you've said it, Josh, right? But adding is different than changing and erasing history, right? That's my opinion. By the way, the same article goes on to share that the manufacturer, right, and toy manufacturers, in fact, have been updating their classic brands to appeal to kids today. To kids today? Kids are kids, but okay, kids today. Barbie has shed its blonde image, which that's not new. I think I was in maybe high school or younger, and there was already like black Barbies and brown Barbies. There's all kind of Barbies, but okay. Shed her blonde image, and now comes with multiple skin tones and body shapes. Thomas the Tank Engine added more girl characters. An American Girl is now selling a boy doll. Which, then it's like, wait a minute. Didn't you, by being more woke, just cancel yourself? Because now people are going to say, oh, the American Girl doll now has a boy doll. But what about blank insert whatever you want to complain about? You see what I'm saying? There's going to be no winning. Yeah. I mean, a lot of these companies are trying to, but there's going to be no winning because they change. Add is different than completely changing, right? A narrative or whatever for a pleasing one group.
The thing is, there's no way that you can please everybody. There's no way that you can please everybody. There are so many different genders these days. There's so many. Well, I don't want to say these days. There's so many different genders. Period. There are so many different races. Period. There are so many different. I don't know, like different types of people in this world that not everyone's going to be happy. I mean, going back to the Barbie one, that one kind of makes sense. Barbie's kind of a bit sick, it promotes a very unhealthy lifestyle for women, for one thing. Before, I mean, it was
the original Barbie. Yeah,
for sure. But now, I mean, the way it is now, I mean, it seems a lot more inclusive, I guess we could say. But it's very difficult to be inclusive these days when there are so many different genres, different races, different ethnic backgrounds, whatever. It's going to be impossible for any company to keep up with that.
And why is it going to be, like you just said, for companies, or almost impossible for companies to keep up with that? Because the idea of what is right is always changing, right? Now, people might argue and say, oh, it's just because it's improving, it's evolving. That's the thing with evolution. That just because something is evolving doesn't mean it's evolving for the right reasons, right? So with that said, companies, in their efforts to stay woke, in their efforts to even say do the right thing, they will ultimately still offend, right? Because they're getting political. They're getting in the middle of shit that they shouldn't. You do one product, do it right, do it well, and sell it. That's your job, in my opinion, as a brand, right? I'm telling me, Josh, by the way, if you do, I don't buy a brand and say, I wonder what, I don't want to bring it in because I just realized I'm sharing their brand with what I was drinking. But let's just take this remote. I don't buy this brand or this, remote and be like, I wonder where they sit with gender inclusivity. I wonder where they sit with racial matters. I don't. Okay. I want a remote well built, I want it built. Sure, I think you can say ethically well built, and in the sense of their ethical standards, meaning I don't want children building this, right, in China for $1 a day. But it's very different than saying, I wonder how many hands this remote passed by, and I wonder what gender they were. You know, it's like, that's internal stuff that matters none to me. At least that's my opinion.
Sure. I completely get that as well. The thing I would say when it comes to the gender thing with that particular one is, does that company pay male, female, plus employees the same wage? Then I might have a problem. For instance, I don't drink anything from the Coca-Cola company. I've become very militant, and I don't drink anything from Coca-Cola. So that's like, I don't know what else. That's Sprite. That's I think Del Valle. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
It is.
But if I see the little Coca-Cola logo, I don't buy it because I don't agree with everything Coca-Cola does. Okay.
Now, you
Not
mean in
because
terms
it's-
of like their culture within the company?
Not necessarily within the company, but I just do not agree with certain things that that company does. I know that that company, it's one of the world's biggest companies, for one thing. Other thing is it always promotes something which it is not, and it's something which is healthy, I guess. It kind of promotes it in that way. There's like, oh yeah, don't worry, you know, Coca-Cola's fine. It's not fine. It's really bad for you. Stop trying to change it. It's really bad for you.
Right.
Not only that, but it does also, I'm pretty sure that it does not ethically source all of its materials. I'm 100% sure of that. A company that big cannot ethically source all its materials. I know that, you know, it's maybe a bit militant of me to do it, but it's my choice to do that. But I don't go around, you know, shouting that out. It's just, that's just a weird little thing about me, is what I choose to do, and we can all move on with our lives. The thing is, Hasbro has made a really, really big mess about, or a really big sound about, look how inclusive we are.
Right.
Look how inclusive we are. And Hasbro has probably actually been manufacturing their toys in other countries and paying pennies to their workers. So instead of, I think the bigger picture here is Hasbro has not really changed anything. They've not changed anything. If they really wanted to make a change, they'd pay all their employees equally. And I'm pretty sure that there's probably women in Hasbro which aren't paid as much as men. I'm pretty much sure of that.
Yeah, no, I agree. So let me correct the record a little bit. When it comes to a company and making sure that they pay their employees equally, I'm with that. Yes. So that would be the only correction that I would make, because you did bring up a good point. Now, I would also argue, right, because this is what some of the arguments are, and you got to pick and choose your battles here, where people have said, in the instance of Twitter, oh, well, if they want to ban, you know, people like Trump, they're a private company. It's their right to do so. See, when you make statements like that, it goes along with, you know, them choosing to pay, whether they want to use loopholes or not, certain employees less than others, whether you're talking about women or whether you're talking about even when it comes to racists, right? Now, if that comes to light, obviously they're going to lose a lot of their following. They're going to lose a lot of support. But because of the fact that a lot of the stuff stays well covered, you have to understand that at the same time, if you say a private company is able to essentially do whatever they want, as long as it's within the law, then they have that right. It technically applies also if they choose to pay certain individuals less than others. Now, it does not mean, let me leave it very clear for anyone that's listening, that I support that. I don't sit there and be like, how can we pay certain people less than others? No. And if I were to hear from any company, I wouldn't agree with it, right? But I am the kind of person that I am balanced. I know what it is, you know, when it comes to the law. I know what it is when it comes to the popular opinion. And we have to understand that we can't have it both ways, right? These are private companies. Again, when we're speaking in legal terms here, right? If they're not violating a legal law here. Now, does it mean that they'll have my support? Probably not. Probably not, right? Because I am a big advocate. Anybody has ever worked for me or worked with me knows that I am a big advocate of the woman movement overall. Not a feminist. I will say that right now. Women in general. I'm very big in moving women higher up in the world, right? I am a father of 2 girls, so yes, I have a big bias. But that doesn't mean that I like, also what's happening right now with eliminating the identifiers, like in the Hasbro story, of men and women. I'm sorry, I just don't like it. And especially when I see it from companies, like you said, Josh, because they're trying to be more, oh, look at us. We're more inclusive. Do we get the woman in the spotlight? Which obviously now they did. And it's like, do you approve now? All these groups, are we okay with everyone? Again, I'll leave it here, at least from my point. Add. Stop taking away. Add. You want to add? Go ahead and add. But stop taking away and rewriting history to please a group.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I was going to go on to say it was kind of like what Burger King did with like the Impossible Burger, but yeah, they added to what they do. But it kind of feels like a little bit too little, too late. Because I don't know if I've never tried an Impossible Burger for one thing, but like I don't think any self-respecting vegan is going to go to Burger King anyway, because in any case that company still farms so much cattle or so much chicken or so much whatever other animal they put in their meat, who knows what.
Yeah.
And also farm it in a very unhealthy way for the planet. So I think in that regard, it's kind of like the same thing of like, oh, look, Burger King is woke now because they do the Impossible Burger for vegans. Like, well, not really.
No, not really. No. And they added, right? So they also tried to do their best. But here's where I would go back one more time and insist. Burger would have come out and said, goodbye to the Whopper. What? Well, vegans and everyone else that's against, animal products showed us the way. And I'm sorry, but all of our gajillion locations around the world, goodbye to the burger, right? To the traditional burger, right? And that's it. That's where I have a problem, right? But in their case, they try to do it the right way. And they're like, you know what? We're going to add it to our menu, right? As an option, not change everything we are. So, all right. So let's move on. We have another story. This one's going to be fun because this one comes with some TikTok videos that I'm going to put, or I put at the beginning of the video. Some clips we're going to make fun of. Let's start with the next story. And that is here, this lady, politicians, bureaucrats, the stuff that I've been saying here for a long time. So in this case, we have, there's a video, which we're actually going to show you our own version. But the article here, it was all over the place. Marjorie Taylor Green puts a sign mocking Democrat colleagues' transgender rights flag. Okay. The article goes on to say, Washington, congressional debate on civil rights protections for the LGBTQ community moved into the halls of Congress on Wednesday when Congresswoman Marie Newman displayed a transgender rights flag and Congresswoman Marie Taylor Green. Is it Greenie or do you think it's Green? I never heard her name. Hung a sign. Is it Greenie?
Green. Let's go with green.
Is green? Yeah, I think it's green too. Well, anyways, she added a sign to counter it, right? And we're gonna show you that video. So let me go pull it up here real quick. Let me see here. Where are you? Here it is. Check this out, guys. Now, for those of you guys only hearing the podcast, this is a lady that right now you just heard the clunk. And I'm going to pause that real quick. You heard the clunk of one of the congresswomen, or I kept saying congresswomen. Congress people. There we go. Thank you. Adding a flag, I guess it symbolizes or represents the transgender community, right? It's a purple with pink flag. Okay. And what she did is probably told her cameraman, hey, aim at the sign, on the literally across the hall with green right? Green, Congresswoman Green, aim at it, and then turn to me, pivot to me as I put the flag down. And what he heard there in the background were, her like, clapping her hands, right? Like, job well done. Then you have now a compilation of someone else that went on and literally did the exact same thing for the opposing Congress women, and she puts the sign, which we're about to see right now. Literally, almost shot for shot, the same thing. She puts a sign, rubs it against the wall, and she does the whole clapping. So they both did the same thing. Now, here the argument the child would make is that, yeah, but who did it first? Kind of thing, sticking your tongue out. This is what I was telling Josh earlier, is just pathetic. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. By the way, the sign says there are two genders, male and female. Trust the science.
Oh, yes. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot to say that. Yeah.
No, that's all right. So yeah, that's what she said. Or that's where she stands. Also, I might like to add that Marjorie, I think it's Marjorie.
Is it Marjorie?
Marjorie is just a way of spelling it, Marjorie.
Okay.
But anyway, who am I to judge how people spell their name? But anyway, Marjorie, it looks like she wasn't using a face mask either. So minus points for that. She doesn't believe in COVID either.
I actually think she's come out outright and said something along those lines. Like she's very much, first of all, on the Trump side. I want to say that she was one of the people out there, kind of the whole stop the count or recount or whatever the whole count thing was. I believe she was one of the people out there very vocal about that. I want to say that she's one of them. And, in the video, again, you hear, you don't hear rather, but for those of you guys, again, listening, you're seeing her put the sign after the other Congresswoman added the flag, right? Again, very childish shit from both of them, really, for the camera, literally, right? Because that's what they did. They filmed it and then they released it to the internet to kind of jab at each other. Here's the way I look at it, right? And I've said this countless times. We have to learn to live with each other. We have to learn how to just agree to disagree. Recently, I released a little short clip all over our social media sites, which was part of our video where I say that it's disgusting when someone goes out and just because they hate someone so much, in this case, it was the social media influencer, Perez Hilton. He again, a flamboyant guy, but somebody's like, oh, I can't wait for him to die or something. And I said in that video, right, in the clip I released, it's disgusting. We need to learn how to live with each other. That's just the way it is. You don't get to like rule all over the planet and just be like, oh, this person can die, this person can this person go to hell. It's ridiculous, right? Because no one here is without flaw, in my opinion, on this earth. No one. I don't care what human has lived on this earth, what they allegedly have done for the quote unquote good. I've heard some pretty weird, outright disgusting things of a lot of people, including people like the likes of Gandhi, the likes of the Pope, the likes of Mother Teresa, that have done pretty like jaw-dropping things, right? And they were supposedly some of the best that have walked this earth, right? Including people like Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King. That was like, whoa, they that's how they behaved. But what does that show? That they were human, that they were not without flaw. And that's the beauty of being human, right? In this case, with these two ladies, hey, one side supports the LGBTQ and the transgender community. I believe, by the way, she does have a bias because her daughter, I was reading earlier, you can look it up yourself and fact check me, is of the transgender community. So she has a clear bias. Good for her. We should learn how to, or the other lady rather, should learn how to live with it, right? And be okay with that. And the other lady should agree and say, you know what? Marjorie doesn't agree that there's more than two genders. That's her belief. That's her, and that it is what it is. And not go at each other's throat, because all their social media, by the way, is full with people right now going at each other's throat. Their clans, their groups, whatever you want to call them, attacking each other, calling each other names, right? By the way, like these ladies didn't care. They don't care. You think they would identify in the street? You think they would, I don't know, hand you money if you were in need? No, but whatever. It's just a little side note, right? But this one's funny. This one's funny. You know, that's just, I don't know, the way I see it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, I feel like both of these people felt like they really achieved something just by doing these stupid TikToks. And that's the most frustrating thing about it. They were like really content. It's like, I've really made a difference today. I tell you what, you've made the main difference that you guys have made by doing this is both of you guys look so stupid for doing what you've done. And you away all credibility from your argument of what you stand for. I believe that, yes, that gender is non-binary and there are some people who are born in the wrong body. That is what I believe. Whether that becomes fact one day, well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? But that's what I believe right now. It's still kind of binary in the way that we believe things, right? But
Right.
in this case, it's just like they've taken away from the argument so much. They've made it they've belittled it in some way to being like that social media trash. That's 15-second video of just nothing that'll just get forgotten in the end, which take away from a serious issue that we should normalize people being non-binary or having a gender or whatever they want to be, being male. Listen, it doesn't matter whether you're male, female, non-binary, trans, non-trans, straight, gay, queer, whatever. You're all equal, but do not belittle it by trying to promote it on things as trashy as TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, and to add to that, by the way, if you are, I mean, you identify, because I believe there's over 100 now ways to identify.
Mhm.
You have, it's a two-way thing. You have to accept what you demand, right?
Mhm.
And I'm going to be a little bit more clear. If I am demanding that Josh accepts me for whatever of the countless types of gender identifications that exist nowadays, then I would expect, right, or Josh should expect for me to expect in retrospect, or in return, accept him for whatever he says he is and whatever he believes in. Josh doesn't need to believe in whatever gender I am, right? If again, I don't know all of them, but I know non-binary is one that I've heard commonly. If Josh is like, I don't believe in non-binary, I believe in male and female, I need to be okay with both, right? I need to accept what he believes, and I will in return expect that he will respect mine, and that's it. Do we need to be friends? No. Do we need to hang around the same circles? No. Right? Respect above everything, right? And then it's easier to accept. Respect, and then it's easier to accept, right? So for that, let's go very quickly to another TikTok video that we have, right, Josh? This one's gonna be funny. We're gonna make fun of this one. This is the guy that's like, that doesn't make you gay. We're gonna make fun of it. We're going to make fun of it because a lot of people, countless people, by the way, were commenting like, no, that does. So a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? Let's show you that real quick. And then we'll try to explain it after the fact. I think unlike this video, the listeners on podcasts, they'll know without us having to explain too much, but we will, talk about it afterwards. Here we go. Let's go look at this one. What's the next video here? Here we go.
Do you know that straight men can have sex with men and not be gay? They can. My first few videos were about straight men having gay sex, and I'm getting activity again in comments that people don't understand that straight men can be attracted to the sex act, but not to the man. Straight men having sex with men doesn't cancel somebody's heterosexuality any more than a straight woman having sex with a woman cancels her sexuality. And it's not about bi erasure either. Please don't say that. Bisexual men are attracted to both men and women to different degrees. Straight men are not attracted to men. They're attracted to the sex with men. Could some of these men be gay or bisexual? Absolutely. But that comes over time, and that's a trajectory that only they can be in touch with to figure that out, not the therapist and not anyone else. So before you leave comments, please watch my earlier videos, read my books, Google me.
I mean, that's a great way he tried, and that they're like, promo, read my book. So listen, I'll go first. So it's just, woo. So I'm sorry. If this is my belief, here we go. And I'm gonna enter dangerous waters, baby. If you like having, intercourse with another man, in my book, you're gay, right? The fact that you maybe don't want other people to say that, I respect that. And I wouldn't, if I knew of someone, I wouldn't be like, dude, just say it, just say it. I wouldn't harass, push, bully someone into just saying that they're gay. No. Right? I would respect if they're like, you know what, dude, I like to do that when I drink, when I get high, when I go to parties, if they're under the influence of whatever, if they're around, hey, you know what, brother? Do you, dude? Come over. No, thanks. I'm solid. I'm good, but I don't judge you. You sure? No, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm good, but I respect you. I love you. Now, for this guy to try to come out and essentially, I don't know, just outright declare it, I think it's not only irresponsible, but it's just self-promoting. As you clearly heard at the end. Go to my website, go to my book, or, he didn't say website, but still, go watch my other stuff. You're trying to get attention. And I think what's shitty about this is funny, but it's also crappy, is that he's trying to build it upon the backs of people that probably are, maybe, right, having some issues identifying if they are gay or not. And it's like, again, I just think it's a bit of a low blow, it's kind of dirty, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, the thing is, that's a very good point, actually. There are people that are actually struggling with their sexuality that cannot be the person that they want to be, maybe for many reasons, maybe for their religion, maybe for their family, maybe for a lot of other reasons, which shouldn't affect someone's sexual orientation, which is a shame. But wow, I mean, that's a very powerful statement. It's, I'm not gay. I just like to have sex with men, There's not,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they were talking about when they invented the term fragile masculinity, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty shit. It's like, dude, I'm not gay. I just like to have sex with men.
Yeah. If we touch each other, it doesn't make us gay, right? There's jokes and countless jokes in the 90s that you remember, right? Of like people saying, dude, just because I like to do this doesn't make me gay. There's even that movie, I think it's called Scary Movie, or one of the parts, Scary Movie 1, 2, or 3, where you have one of the Wayans brothers that, keeps asking, that's not gay, right? That's not gay, right? Because it was a running joke in the 90s. Now, again, if this man, by the way, which I tried to look into his TikToks, I try to look deeper into him as much as I could to see if he was maybe someone that's speaking from his point of view, like, hey, I had sex with a man and I don't feel gay, to see if he was able to speak from that point of view, I maybe would have had a different thought process, right? Would have been like, all right, well, this guy is speaking from somewhere that he knows, he realizes, he understands. But it wasn't like that. It wasn't like, hey, I did it, so this is my opinion. No, it's just outright saying it, like you heard him say about women as well. First of all, you're not a woman. How can you even speak to that? I couldn't sit there with a straight face and say, no pun intended, by the way, when I say straight. Hey, you sleep with women? Other women sleep with women? Yeah. Oh, don't worry, you're not lesbian. I don't know. I'm not a woman, right? I wouldn't imagine if I would be pushing other women to do that. How creepy would that be? You would totally be like, dude, that's kind of creepy that you're like really pushing on women to be like, you want to sleep with other women and like let me watch. That's not lesbian. You would be like, dude.
Maybe has he got a wife? Did you see if he has a wife? Or
I couldn't see that. Yeah, I wasn't able to see. It was just a lot of him talking.
Right. So maybe his wife is in the middle of some kind of sexual orientation thing at the moment, and this is his way to get to terms with it, so he doesn't feel emasculated. It's like, it's just my wife. She just likes to have, she has lots of female friends, lots of close female friends, and it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I could have sex with a guy. It's no problem. Yeah.
If I'm just there watching and they're doing their thing, like, and I wish I was in between and I'm not allowed to, that doesn't make my wife a lesbian. that just, just
Wasn't that a Friends episode? I'm pretty sure that's what happened with Ross's wife, right?
yeah. Again, when I hear it from another man, right? If I heard it from another man that went through an experience like that, I would, hey, I respect you, man. Maybe you haven't figured it out. Maybe you don't want to. Who knows? I got you. Don't worry about it, right? I'm not going to out you here and be like, no, you are this, you are that. It's different, right? Again, unless he wants to come out and tell us something here, which is just like, be open and honest about it, dude. Like, if start with that. Yeah. Hey, TikTok, how are you doing? By the way, a couple days ago, had an experience with a close friend of mine. We're not gay. It's different. There's even a Black Mirror episode, by the way, about that with the actor that plays the Winter Soldier. Not the Winter Soldier, but the Anthony something. The Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Or not Hawkeye. Damn it, I keep forgetting him. Falcon. Right? Where he's like, they're in the video game and they're like, are we gay? And it's like, it's so I believe, just to finish this one off real quick, the guy's talking out of his ass. In my opinion, I think you're gay. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm not educated enough and I'm open to being educated. But in my book right now, I think you're gay and that's okay. That is okay. Now, there are, by the way, I think one of the gender identifications is that you can be woman one day, you can be a man another day. So there is that you can be like, there are some days that I like to have sex with men, and then there are some days that I don't like to have sex with men. There is that. So you can, that's, I think, if anything, in this whole argument, that makes a bit more sense than to be like, no, dude, you can totally like bang your friend and you're fine. Like, not gay. It's totally not gay.
I mean, yeah. Closing it out is like, there's nothing wrong, man. You can come out as being gay. It's 2021.
Yeah. What's this guy's name real quick? Let me see. I can barely tell. Oh, I can't tell. But buddy, if you're watching this, we got you, dude. Good for you, dude. Come and tell us your story, right? No judgment here, dude. It's the JTH show. It's a safe space. I know I joke about it a lot.
The funniest part of the video is like, this is not something that's explained to a therapist.
Yeah.
This is not something that explained to a therapist.
Yeah, don't talk to a professional. Like, if you're having thoughts and conversations in your head, just keep it to yourself. Dude, you're the wrong kind of person. You're the worst person. What? But anyways,
A little disclaimer just to finish it off is like, if you do have any problems or if you are having any struggles, going to therapy is not a bad option.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, seek help, guys, girls, and everyone else. Seek help. Talking to people is it's great. It's such a great reliever. I do it. I talk to Josh daily. Josh is actually kind of like my therapist. I'm always venting with him, and if I ever needed a therapist, I would seek one. There's no shame in that, baby. There's no shame in saying like, oh, I need to talk to someone. I have it. So what? Go get some help. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. You weren't designed perfect. We are not a perfect design for a reason, right? Because it's the magic, the beauty of having a conversation like we're having right now with you, with Josh, all of us right here. There's beauty in that, right? And there's no shame in that. And saying, oh, you know what? I had these thoughts. Maybe I was wrong. I am always open to changing the way I think, right? Because it goes along with critical thinking. I can't be a hypocrite and say critical thinking if I'm not open to learning, if I'm not open to having a change of mind, right? That is pretty much one of the foundations of saying, I'm going to think about this critically, right? Not just one side and not just my side. So open mind. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. My wife is always telling me, let Josh say bye. Let Josh say bye. There.
Bye.
See, that's why I don't do it. Because it's going to be like, whatever I say, bye. But anyways, there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you guys, sticking here towards the end. If you're still watching, if you're listening on the podcast platform, we love you. We do, because we're not very big right now, and we appreciate everyone that's listening right now that takes those moments, those minutes, so at this point 40 minutes to sit here and listen to us. We appreciate it. And hey, the invitation is still there. You want to come on in the show? Come on the show, all right? I'm not hard to get a hold of. Drop a comment and give us a like if we've earned it. Remember to ring that notification on YouTube and follow the link tree to any of our social media platform in the YouTube or podcast description. And until next time, see ya.